Yippee-ki-yay, we're having a wonderful day, a better day than people in New York are having, whether you're getting mugged on the street or someone's taking a shot at you from the back, not to make light of the situation, but I'm headed to New York in about a week and a half, and I ask myself, what the hell am I thinking? Well, one individual, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, who recently was assassinated in the cold blood, turns out that perhaps this was not motivated by a love triangle gone wrong or even perhaps due to a robbery, but actually out of spite towards a CEO, either out of a hatred for capitalism or also a mutual disdain for the insurance company that was known to cheat at least one third of its patients, and they say customers, out of insuring their claims. Listen to this. Jim Hoff reports that detectives uncover a chilling clue in the UnitedHealthcare CEO's murder. Shell casings were found inscribed with a message. Detectives investigating the assassination of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, have uncovered a potential motive. Shell casings at the crime scene were inscribed with words. This discovery suggests the murder was a targeted act. Thompson, who earned nearly $9.9 million annually, had been with the company since 2004 and served as a CEO for over 3 years. Now, Thompson, who is 50 years old, was fatally shot on December 4th outside the New York Hilton Midtown Hotel, where he was scheduled to host an investor conference. Surveillance footage shows a masked gunman waiting for Thompson before approaching and firing multiple shots at close range. Despite initial jam, the shooter quickly cleared the weapon and resumed firing, showcasing a high level of skill and experience. It does seem that he's a proficient person in the use of firearms, as he was able to clear the malfunctions pretty quickly, NYPD Chief of Detectives John Kenney said at the news conference. Now, after the attack, the gunman fled the scene on an e-bike, disappearing into Central Park. We've already shown the damning footage. It is graphic, but you can see it there on the site at Gateway Pundit. The inscribed shell casings, 3 live 9mm rounds, and 3 discharge casings bearing the words deny, defend, and depose were found among the evidence collected at the scene. ABC News reported that Thompson's wife, Paulette, disclosed that the family had received threats prior to the incident, possibly related to disputes over insurance coverage. Now, there has been some threats, as she told NBC News. Basically, I don't know, a lack of coverage. I don't know details. I just know that he said that there were some people that had been threatening him. Now, in interesting news, this is where all the wives are going to come in and say, see, that's why you got to give me all the details. I'm not even joking, because I'm married and your wife says, oh my gosh, your best friend got a divorce? What happened? And what do we say as the men? I didn't ask. And sometimes we don't give people the right information. So it is important. If someone's threatening you, reminding you, probably let people know, like the authorities, especially if you're that rich. I wonder how somebody worth about $100 million has the ability to move around and actually find themselves in a position to where they're unable to ask people for security. How is that even possible? Now, in other news, it's quite interesting, too, that word defend, depose, or whatever was on the shell casings also happened to be the name of a book that was about holding CEOs or at least executives of insurance companies accountable. Now, that being said, it's more remarkable because in the midst of this trial and tribulation, it appears that, perhaps cheating people out of their insurance coverage and, cheating them out of their claims might have been detrimental, in this case, actually deadly. But I'm not justifying the murder by any means. Liberal host Taylor Lorenz also came out directly and said, she celebrated this. People on Blue Sky, which is the pedophile left-wing alternative to X, because they're protesting Trump winning, so they made their own app to share their pedophile, child porn, and whatever weird nonsense they're up to. They were out there directly talking to each other and saying, okay, yeah, maybe we should do more of this. Even the comment section on CNN was celebrating the deaths, which is pretty remarkable considering the fact that, who knows what's really going to be going on in these day and age. But I can tell you this, it is not a good thing to be making fun of somebody assassinated, because it could be you next. Now, more interestingly enough, many of you guys know that we are in the Christmas season, which means that MyPillow has amazing sales. They have their slippers for $59.98. Their flannel sheets, you can go back there for $59.98 as well. Their towels are $29.98, and even better, their pillows are $14.88. But the thing is while these prices are absolutely amazing, astronomical, and it's crazy, I don't know why anyone would pass it up. The thing is, Mike Lindell is a freedom fighter, the guy who owns this company. He's been investigating the libs, particularly for them rigging the 2020 election. They've been trying to cancel him. So when you buy their products, you get high-quality American-made products. But on the other side, you're supporting a company of a Christian man who loves America, loves this nation, and is fighting for election integrity and loves Trump. But the only thing is that you've got to use my code Elijah, ELIJAH at mypillow.com, MyPillow.com, that's the best way to do it. So go to the website, click the link on the screen in the description, and you can get your My Pillows today. So cheap. For only $14.88. That's so good. Or you can get their My Slippers, which haven't been on sale for over a year. Make sure that you get those today before it's too late. Now, in other news, it seems quite interestingly enough that a charlatan vaccine promoter, Dr. Peter Hotez, says multiple viruses will be unleashed on America the day after Trump takes office. We have the full video report. Charlatan vaccine promoter Dr. Peter Hotez said multiple viruses will be unleashed on America one day after Trump is inaugurated next month. We have some big picture stuff coming down the pike starting on January 21st, Hotez said to MSNBC's Nicole Wallace before rattling off a list of viruses. Bird flu, new coronavirus, SARS, mosquitoes, transmitted viruses, dengue, Zika, the yellow fever, pertussis. Of course, Dr. Hotez failed to mention the measles outbreak and polio cases are primarily a problem with the illegal migrants flooding the U.S. We have the full story for you, though, and I think it's important that you do check it out because this video is more than damning. It is absolutely alarming. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds, but I encourage you in any way, shape, or form to actually listen and to check this out. Watch.
Here's the reason why we need to care about this stuff, Nicole, is that we have some big picture stuff coming down the pike starting on January 21st. Mr. Bloomberg mentioned H5N1. That I'm really worried about. It's all over wild birds on the western part of the United States and going up in the north. It's getting into the poultry. We're seeing sporadic human cases, no human-to-human transmission yet, but that could happen. It's in the cattle, it's in the milk, and that's just the beginning. We have another major coronavirus likely brewing in Asia. We've had SARS in 2002, SARS-2, COVID-19 in 2019. And we know these viruses are jumping from bats to people thousands of times a year, but there's still more. We know that we have a big problem with mosquito-transmitted viruses all along the Gulf Coast, where I am here in Texas. So we're expecting dengue and possibly Zika virus coming back, or a Puche virus, maybe even yellow fever. And there's more. Then we have all this sharp rise in vaccine preventable diseases going up because of, in part, the anti-vaccine activism that's so prominent right now. We have a 5-fold rise in pertussis cases, whooping cough over the last year, 15 measles outbreaks this year. We've got polio that's been in the wastewater in New York State. All that's going to come crashing down on January 21st on the Trump administration. We need a really, really good team to be able to handle this.
Yeah, but he particularly does not talk about the fact that a lot of this stuff is happening because of the actual immigration problem that's happening in our country. And it's this sort of dishonesty where it's like, it's the anti-vaxxers, it's the MAGA. This is the rhetoric why I believe Americans sort of outvoted this or wanted this to go away. We don't want to deal with this sort of, demoralization of our people any longer. Dr. Peter Hotez is a fraud, and for that, we should continue to treat him as such. Now, that being said, in one more interesting move, horrible leftist hack messes around and finds out Kash Patel slaps Turncoat Mike Pence advisor Olivia Troye with legal notice for defamation. And yet another example of the far left's desperate attempt to smear President-elect Donald Trump's allies. Olivia Troye, a former advisor to Turncoat Mike Pence, is facing the heat after making outrageous defamatory statements about Trump's pick for FBI director. On November 30th, President-elect Trump announced the nomination of Patel to lead the FBI, an institution tarnished by years of political corruption under figures like James Comey and Chris Rye. Trump's base praised the nomination, viewing Patel as a figure who could restore integrity and accountability to the Bureau. But Olivia Troye, who has gained notoriety for her venomous tirades against her former colleagues, appeared on Joy Reid's MSNBC show to launch a tirade. Among her baseless accusations, Troye claimed that Patel lied about intelligence, put Navy SEALs at risk, and even misinformed Mike Pence. Now, we can watch the video of what actually happened. It's pretty ridiculous that they would do this because obviously, despite, being in a position where they should be telling the truth, they continually use their positions to lie and smear. Watch.
In the White House, I was Vice President Mike Pence's counterterrorism advisor. So I had to coordinate with Kash a lot. Kash Patel is a delusional liar. Let me just be very clear about that. And he would lie about intelligence. He would lie about making things up on operations. I think Mark Esper has talked about that as well, where he put the lives of Navy SEALs at risk in an operation when it came to Nigeria. These are things that actually were happening in real time when he was in the role of CT coordinator in the White House. And I know this because at some point I realized that I needed to double check Kash's work to make sure that I wasn't misinforming Mike Pence by relying on his word. So I had to go around him. And this is a guy who openly has contempt for people in national security, for people especially at DOJ and the FBI. He made open comments like this. And so I think, there is a little bit of fear here from people where they know that someone like Kash Patel is fully capable of just doing partisan investigations, whatever it takes. It will be insane if he becomes the director of the FBI. And I fear for the law enforcement personnel there who are going to have to navigate this. And quite honestly, when I look at Kash Patel in combination with what is Pam Bondi going to do if she gets in as AG, is that top cover for him? I mean, these are all the things that concern me when I see all of these names being proposed for all of these different positions, because this is a very real risk.
Right. It's like watching sharks, right? Trying to, express their desire and their denial that they want blood. These people are absolutely despicable. And the fact that they continually prance around and claim to represent, just they're journalists. We just want to know the truth. When in reality, all they want to do is smear us and call us liars. Now, additionally, Justin, the DOJ was apparently briefed on the House Judiciary Committee on internal investigation it opened into Jack Smith's office over misconduct allegations. The Justice Department briefed the House Judiciary Committee about an investigation it opened to Special Counsel Jack Smith and his prosecutors over misconduct allegations, according to a letter obtained by the Washington Examiner. Now, details about this misconduct were not immediately clear. The DOJ's Office of Professional Responsibility told Chairman Jim Jordan's committee last month about a misconduct allegation that took place in June of 2023. The OPR did not take any action against Jack Smith's office due to the ongoing lawfare investigation to Trump. Both of Jack Smith's cases against President Trump have been terminated since Trump won the 2024 presidential election, the Washington Examiner reported. The Department of Justice recently briefed the House Judiciary Committee about an internal investigation that had opened into Special Counsel Jack Smith's office, according to a committee chairman, Jim Jordan. Now, Jordan wrote Wednesday in a letter obtained by the Washington Examiner to Jeffrey Ragsdale, the DOJ Office of Professional Responsibility official, who gave the briefing that Jordan was unsatisfied with the information. Ragsdale had said during the briefing, which took place last month, that he opened an inquiry into possible misconduct by Smith's office in June of 2023, further investigative steps while Smith's prosecutions of President-elect Donald Trump remained pending, per Jordan. The fact that, oh no, Jack Smith is somehow involved in corruption, well, of course he is. The entire lawfare case against Trump is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, honestly, can we just be honest here? What hasn't been corruption when it comes to these absolute idiots? That being said, our last story for today is quite interesting, and you have it here. President Trump sets the record straight on Chad Chronister's withdrawal as DEA chief. He didn't pull out, I pulled him out. In a fiery response to critics and mainstream media, President Donald Trump has clarified the withdrawal of Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister as his nominee for DEA administrator. He said that he pulled him out. Obviously, we know there was backlash among many of us on the Trump right because of the way he arrested a pastor for violating health orders during COVID. We don't want people like that in office. Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a comment, drop a like, and follow us here on Rumble. But one of the most important things is make sure you join our mug club at thegatewaypundit.com. It's a great mug. It's embossed. It's weighty. And it's a great way for you to feel like you're a part of the family. I'll see you tomorrow here for a news review. Have a great rest of the week as always. And I got to say, may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.